Hey guys, what is up? It's a Bomb93. As you can see, I'm back and I'm playing Doom. Um, but today it's more of a tech talk video. I want to talk more about computing power and how it's kind of changed over the last 10 years. I mean, it hasn't changed as much as we think it has. I mean, 10 years ago, I think the max cores, and I have to do the research on this, but I think the max cores Intel was putting out 10 years ago, so in 2007. So Windows XP had been out for 5 years. Windows Vista had just come out at this point. I think the max cores Intel was still putting out in their processors was about 4. And let's be honest, Vista wasn't very good. I'm kind of happy that they canned it. But I also think some of the reasons why, if you are on an older PC that has like per se Windows XP, like I used like this computer that I actually rigged up. I used to be running a Intel Core 2 quad processor from 2000, from that around that era. It had 500 gigabytes of storage, and now I have a terabyte. I switched to graphics and everything around it, but it could still play Rocket League. It could still play a lot of the games that I wanted to. So another thing is that like we have gone a lot to the cloud computing stuff, and I'm not sure what the clock speed on my Snapdragon 821 is on this computer, but it is what it is. A Google Pixel. I have a Google Pixel now. I got rid of the iPhone. I wasn't too happy with it, but yeah. And I was watching the 8-Bit Guy. I've recently come into watching a lot more techie videos like Ben Heck and 8-Bit Guy, along with my regular video game attack, that sort of computing kind of guy. So I will say that yes, even though processing speeds has picked up dramatically over the first 20 years, uh, the computing lifespan, I don't think it's actually picked up last, well, in the first 30 years. I don't think it's picked up as dramatically now. As you can see with, I can almost run on my Ultrabook Overwatch, which I would have recorded today, but I had to figure out how to get this actually all to work. So, um, so I would have recorded Overwatch, but I didn't. So, but instead, I'm just gonna say 1995, Doom used to make the most used to be the most graphically intensive games, and it still is. Like Doom 4, it's pretty graphically intensive if you use Vulkan and whatnot for it. As a somebody who plays all these styles of games like Doom and, but I will say that my ouch, watching as I'm recording, uh, I will say that even though over time we've gotten a lot more of a change in our systems and how we clock speed, even our graphics cards. Our graphics cards, if you looked at graphics cards, there is definitely a significant increase from the days of the MS-DOS to Windows 10. Not saying that Windows 7 won't support GTX 1060s, but I'm just saying that from back in the 1970s when computing really was starting, to the early days of MS to today, has there been a lot of a change in computing power? Yes. Has there's been a huge change in graphical output, there's been a huge change in computing power, but we're starting to see the area where computing power, because of the internet and multiple servers, is starting to decline with not. And I mean, if you take if you take consoles into comparison too, I think what was it? The Atari only had like a 2 megahertz processor inside of it, and we're all the way up to 1.7 in PS4, 2.3 in the PS4 Pro. And most of our computers are running about most gamers' computers run about a 3.5 gigahertz processor, including mine. So, and even then, Overwatch can run on something like 2. It's not exactly optimal running an Ultrabook, I will say that. I wasn't too happy with my computer's performance. So that's why I stick to my computer when I just play on. I'll stick to my tower that plays Doom like this. Um, yeah, so I'm quite happy with. I will say, over the last 10 years, even though I'm only 20 years old, I originally used Windows 95 for my computer. I originally had a Windows 95 computer, and I have noticed the significant increases in the internet. Actually, my processing speeds have gone up, and everything else has gone up, which is quite a nice thing, I will say, and makes me quite happy to say that even though we have seen a lot of changes, that even if it is starting to slow down on the CPU side of things, it's nice to know that the GPU and the fact that um, the fact that the internet really hasn't changed a whole lot when it comes to this. Anyways, guys, that's my time for today. Make sure you like that subscribe button. If you want to see more, hey, don't be afraid to comment it below, because I'm willing to start another campaign, but I might not do it in ultra hard, ultra nightmare. But I will do a sort of playthrough. I guess I'll do a Bomb 93 in-game series where I play certain bits of the Doom games from the inside of the games, and I think I'll let. So make sure you comment if you want to see more Doom or me playing Overwatch or whatever. I'd also like to um, be able to play. So if you have a certain game that you want me to play, be sure to comment. Be sure to comment. Like, I'm not afraid to do this. I might do a little bit more of this in the camera stuff now that I moved and I'm getting used to it in place and all. So be sure to like and favorite if you want to see more. And subscribe too, hit that notification bell. So, as always, I'm Matthew James. I'm the bomb. Have a good one.